This year's Celtics-Sixers matchup has already become a classic, between James Harden dropping 45, Embiid winning the MVP, and the Celtics putting an absolute beatdown on the Sixers in Game 2 for Joel's return to the court. It's quickly becoming reminiscent of the days of old when it was Allen Iverson and Paul Pierce battling it out. The Sixers turned to a 2-3 zone to try to slow down the Celtics, and today we're going to check out how Boston attacked and exploited that defense.
As the Celtics close the first, here's a nice pass upside.
Now, before we jump into this film breakdown, don't forget, if you're a coach or a trainer and you're really trying to level up your knowledge of the game, all you have to do is sign up for our Coaches and Trainers Academy on HoopStudy.com, where we have all of the best plays, tactics, and training techniques in the business. Let's get it. So for our first play, again, they are clearly set up in this 2-3 zone, and this first play is called fist top. And essentially all they're going to do is set an on-ball screen, and afterwards they're going to reverse the ball back to that screener, and they're going to pull Joel out of the paint by setting this second pick and roll on the ball handler. So now, as soon as Joel's out of the paint, they can cut smart on the baseline and throw that ball over the top for an easy basket.
And the 7 points in the last 2.5 minutes of the first quarter. As the Celtics close the first, here's a nice pass upside.
Next up, we have fist drag, where they're going to set this drag screen in transition. They do a good job of rejecting it, getting downhill, and notice that they have 2 shooters spaced to the corners. And this pass is still available over the top, but they find a wide open shooter for 3 instead.
In the 38, Tatum triple.
Next up, we have fist low, and here they're going to set this step-up screen and they're going to cut a man on the baseline. And this is really just a 2-man game, but it's a great example of why having great spacing and being in the right spot is so important. Tatum is not able to throw this pass if he doesn't know that his man is going to be there. So this is a great clip for any coach to show their players why spacing and being in the right spot is so important. Next, we have drag low. Now, this I know is not technically a drag screen, but it's being set in transition, and the second man or the trail man is going to cut down to the block. And really what they're doing here is targeting these 2 defenders because of the movement and the spacing. They have to communicate on defense. And because of the places that these people are cutting into, the defense has no choice but to make a pick, and here they leave their man wide open in the paint for an easy shot.
He's got 30 points from James Harden. Here comes Smart with a lot of traffic, a nest of defenders awaiting.
Lastly, we have flash sneak, where they're just going to simply flash this man through the middle of the paint, and as soon as he's open and gets the ball, they're sneaking on the baseline for an easy pass and finish.
They'll work into Tobias Harris. Gets it in. Horford. Smart!
One last note about this play, pay attention to PJ Tucker. When he helps in the paint, he can only stunt and recover because there's a shooter in the corner. So the spacing is key to this play. If you don't have a shooter there, it's not really going to work. Shout out to the Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla for coming up with a simple yet effective game plan to attack this 2-3 zone. If you want the PDF playbook, click on the link below. And if you want all of our playbooks and all of our basketball knowledge, don't forget to head over to HoopStudy.com and sign up for our Coaches and Trainers Academy.